Stand by for breaking news. A 7 News special report starts now.
And good evening, I'm Jeff Cole here in our studios at WWNY down here in downtown Watertown without water. A lot of us in the city of Watertown are dealing with that, and customers that are using the city's water going dry today after that water main break. And we have extended coverage here in terms of a news conference that we are waiting on. And let me just update you with that and kind of walk you through what our plans are. The Lieutenant Governor is expected to be here in Watertown for a news conference. Now, that was supposed to start at 6 o'clock for an update to learn what the state is doing to help out the situation, to let us know where the city sits right now with this dire situation. At last word, the Lieutenant Governor is still in the air, still coming to Watertown. So here in the meantime, we're going to let you know what we know. We're going to set up something with John Moore. He's live at the press conference, but before that happens, I think we're able to get Watertown Mayor Jeff Smith involved, and we'll be able to talk to Mayor Smith a little bit as to perhaps what we're expecting out of that news conference. And so kind of a fluid situation here as we start up our 6 o'clock broadcast. We're ready to keep with you. We're ready to be on the air. We're ready to bring you that news conference. It could take some time. So in the meantime, as I sit here and I can talk to the director and other people in the newsroom, I think what we're looking to do is we're setting up our other reporters that are ready to bring you their stories from the day today. We're able to do that. Before we go to John, let's roll some video here if we can of exactly what we are dealing with here in the city of Watertown. This happened overnight at about 1 o'clock in the morning. A water main break happened on the corner of Huntington Street and Eastern Boulevard. Now that's right by the water treatment plant. Earlier today I talked with City Manager Ken Mix, and you know, you have water main breaks happen throughout the city of Watertown on and off, and you have an area which has to deal with maybe low pressure, low water pressure, or no water at all. This was, as Mr. Mix described, pretty much the worst location for the water main break. What the water does, it comes out of the treatment plant right there at the corner at Eastern Boulevard. It comes out and it goes right up to Thompson Park, right-hand turn up Route 3, Thompson Park to fill the reservoir. So that's where the break happened, and it wasn't filling the reservoir. Early this morning, about 7 o'clock this morning, a press release came out from City Hall, and the third paragraph from Ken Mix said the city expects to run out of water today, Thursday. And here we are. Some people have run out of water. Other people have maybe a couple of flushes left for their toilets tonight. But we are not anywhere near a fix, an immediate fix, or being back online as we await a press conference to learn the latest information. So again, that's what happened earlier this morning and throughout the day today. You can probably come back to me for the director and we can reload that video some. But in terms of what happened here today, it took time for Watertown crews to deal with that situation. Why did it take so long? It's so tedious. It's because where that infrastructure is, the water main, is surrounded by a lot of electrical components, a lot of electricity lines, gas lines. Everything's underneath there. It's a main area for that stuff. And New York State was like, no, you got to wait. We need Dig Safe New York to let you know where you can put your shovels in the ground before you start digging. And so this video here was just kind of clearing an area to finally find the pipes that were a problem. And we do have a couple of pictures of the pipes. We'll have to wait to show you those. So that's why it took so long for Watertown to find that fix. By midday, maybe early afternoon is when they did find that fix. So again, we're on the air and we're going to get our reporters in place to be able to bring you a broadcast of our local news. We're also waiting for a live news conference. That's going to involve the Watertown mayor. It's going to have the city manager, elements of Fort Drum. I think that the garrison commander is anticipated to be there at this news conference. So in the meantime, I think we can go to John Moore because John is at City Hall and he is standing by with the mayor to give us an update as to what we can expect here. So John Moore at City Hall, take it away.
Hi, Jeff. Here with Mayor Jeff Smith, waiting for this press briefing to begin, waiting for the Lieutenant Governor to arrive for it at the moment. Jeff, an impressive array of local, state, federal officials that are here.
Yeah.
A lot of mobilization took place in a hurry today, didn't it?
Yeah, no, it was great. We have great partners in state government, local government, the county, and our partners out at Fort Drum. Everybody, all hands on deck. Not only that, local towns, whether it be Sackett's Harbor, Mayor calling me, Oswego, Potsdam, everybody looking to pitch in. So great response locally, and very proud of the team, and really out ahead of this with planning and everything like that. So,
Jeff, water distribution has begun. Question is, will it be enough to serve a city of 25,000 people for the foreseeable future?
Well, it will be. So right now we've started handing out bottled water, and people can bring down jugs, and with our partners at Fort Drum, who have been great, they brought in 18,000 gallons of drinkable water, and they're going to do some water filtration and things like that. So state of New York is bringing in water. We have other resources of bringing water, so making sure that the community has good, clean, safe drinking water, that's a priority. And also on the mind is fixing the problem, and the folks that are sick and ill at the hospital, and making sure we've got great fire protection. So the community should be assured that we do have fire protection. That's been right at the forefront, and Chief Timmerman's done a great job in the fire department and the surrounding volunteers and the state agencies.
What about people that can't get out to get the water, like people in the high-rise, elderly, the infirm?
Yeah, so that also is a contingency. Actually, the fire department and the agencies, state agencies, are going around and delivering bottled water now as we speak to the high-rise and the shut-ins, and we have a team that's identified who those people are and making sure that they do get bottled water.
What's the latest on what the break was and the fix?
So the break right now that we understand is about a 12-foot long pipe that connects, it's a 16-inch pipe that connects over to a 24, 26-inch pipe. Just old. I think it's around 50 plus years old, and no specific reason or cause for the break, but broke and basically emptied out the system. And some of the shutoff valves and back valves, I guess, broke along with this. So that was the cause of the water coming out of the system and basically emptying the system. So they've identified that. They're getting parts in and looking to get that repaired hopefully in the next 4 to 6 hours if everything goes well. They did run into a little bit of problem that it sits on bedrock, so they've got to drill that out and make sure that they have that. Once that's fixed, then they've got to recharge the system. So now you're putting pressure back into the system. That's going to take 24 to 36 hours. And then you're going to have non-drinkable water. You're going to have to boil water for a few days after that. So process still still working on that. We're going to have a briefing here pretty soon, and then the press conference hopefully with more updates. But working the problem and ensuring that people have good, clean drinking water. Also working with Samaritan Medical Center to make sure that healthcare needs are taken care of. So any real sick, ill people have been transferred out. Carthage Area Hospital has stepped up with Lewis County General Hospital stepping up and helping taking over floor. Right now, my understanding, Samaritan's on complete diversion, so state agencies, DOH have helped with that, along with MEDAC out at Fort Drum has been a big part of the planning process.
Mm-hmm. What do you think we're going to learn from the Lieutenant Governor when he arrives?
Well, I think that you're going to hear more updates of what's going on, state agencies, state involvement, and their commitment and what they're doing in terms of helping this process along and ensuring that all the state resources are there, whether it be from fire, state police, or whatever we need in terms of repair. In fact, if we can't or don't have the parts or don't have them locally in New York City, we've been in touch with them and through the state that whatever we need they will bring up here via the state. So we will have those parts once they're all identified and we're ready to go.
So it sounds like city residents and those outside the city also served by the system should be prepared for at least like 30 hours without any water, correct?
It could be up to that. So that's what we're aiming for, is sometime Saturday or Sunday to have water back on. It won't be drinkable water, but that water back on in the system, and then it's going to be another, again, 48, 72 hours of boil water.
Jeff, did you ever think you'd be facing this?
I did not think I would be facing this. I guess if there's any good news, it's not January where it's 30 below out and snow. So look for a little good news in something like that. So the other great news, though, is the area and the people in this community. Whether it be state leaders, whether it be Fort Drum leaders, they have just been phenomenal. Our local elected officials, Senator Walczak, Assemblyman Gray, Congresswoman Tenney, Stefanik's office, Governor or Senator Schumer's office. I spoke to the governor today. All have been in contact, and what do you need? Commanders out at Fort Drum, Commander Colonel Brayman, Colonel Meyer, Garrison Commander, what do you need? First thing this morning, and really started that process to make sure that the community had good, clean drinking water and whatever we needed in terms of equipment or materials. They were there.
Yep. Mayor Smith, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Much appreciated.
Yep.
All right, Jeff, so that's the situation. The briefing, still waiting for the Lieutenant Governor to make his appearance, and a lot of officials here ready to speak more and fill us in more on the situation. Jeff, back to you.
Good information, John Moore. Thank you. Live, and we'll go back to John here in a little bit once that does start up, once that news conference starts. Again, waiting for the Lieutenant Governor to arrive in Watertown to address the city and the media, Channel 7, to understand exactly what resources are going to be here. Myself, along with a lot of other people, probably got that text message, an alert from the state of New York telling us, it's actually a reverse 911, I think, through the county dispatch, telling us that bottled water is starting to be handed out. It's actually canned water, and there are different locations around the city. And some of it's down at the fairgrounds, Northland Plaza on the eastern end of Watertown, also a spot where you can get some of that water. There are limitations, naturally, in terms of what they can give to a household, but nonetheless, that is here. What we don't know is how long are we going to be here in this situation, and the Lieutenant Governor maybe be able to clear that up, but really it's the fix, right? That's what has to happen. And even after the fix, in which we talked about during our noon broadcast today, we learned that even after they make this fix, they have to then refill all of the pipes. This isn't just a neighborhood. This is filling an entire city's water pipes under the streets. And those have to all of a sudden be refilled and then repressurized. And that takes time. And then even after that, once that is done and your faucet works, you have to boil your water for another 36, 48 hours in terms of making it safe to be able to drink. So not out of the woods. We don't even know if we're walking out of the woods just a little bit. I mean, we don't know exactly where we are. As we stand by and we have that press conference to go to, we have a local news broadcast to bring you. We have a lot more information that we're going to bring you. Our reporters have been out all day giving you the news that you need to have. But first, I think we'll take a moment to check in with John Kubas. Let's do our forecast and we can learn. And as Mayor Smith said, it was nice to have a sunny day and a warmer day. This didn't happen when it was, 20 below during the winter. But John Kubas, if you could, update our forecast.
Absolutely, Jeff. A beautiful day outside, even right now, as a matter of fact, with the setting of the sun. Watching the clouds kind of build on in, but at least it's still mild outside. We're at 58 degrees. Winds are calm right now. That'll be changing later on this evening and overnight. Those winds will become a bit breezy from the south. I expect wind gusts potentially 15, 20, 25 miles per hour here in the city of Watertown and also throughout the North Country as well. And with the clouds and that gusty southerly wind, temperatures will remain quite mild overnight tonight and actually tomorrow as well. We'll check those forecast high temperatures here in a minute. First off, your pressure, 2989, was higher yesterday, right? Now it's beginning to fall as an area of low pressure kind of heads our way. All right, satellite and Doppler radar. Take note, earlier today, all that gorgeous sunshine. Now, not so much. Clouds beginning to build on in. A little bit of rain showing up on the maps, mainly off to our west. We'll keep it cloudy this evening and overnight as well. As we widen the view off to the west, big spin of the atmosphere located between Cleveland and also Chicago as well. That low quickly racing to the east, and notice some rain showers associated with that, along and ahead of that low pressure system. This low is going to move into the northeast, kind of transfer its energy off the coast and kind of stall out for at least a couple of days anyway. So it was nice today, not so much tomorrow, a whole lot of clouds and also some rain. And this weekend is not looking all that good either, with clouds and a big cool down heading our way. Futurecast overnight tonight, notice how cloudy it will be, and we'll keep it mainly cloudy overnight tonight. Potentially some breaks in the overcast come tomorrow morning, and notice during tomorrow afternoon, some showers should begin to build on in. I'm thinking later on in the day, say 3, 4, 5 o'clock, and then after that tomorrow evening, I'm dealing with some scattered showers in the area as that low pressure kind of moves on through. Let's talk about the wind gusts overnight tonight. This is by 8 p.m. Wind gusts potentially 20 miles per hour here in the city, 19 in Lowville. So not really all that strong for the time of year, but still, it's been a while since it's been windy, right? So we will be dealing with that gusty southerly wind. Around 2 o'clock or so, 19 mile per hour wind gust for you in Canton, near 30 at Fort Drum, 22 in Lowville, 24 over Montague Way on top of the Tug Hill Plateau. Winds pick up a bit by tomorrow morning. Wind gusts to 25, say 30 miles per hour. And finally, Messina, Ogdensburg, you're getting in on the action, so to speak, with that gusty southerly wind. And during the day, I say around, just after noon or so, wind gusts 20, 25, possibly 30 miles per hour. So no watches, no warnings, no advisories out, just a bit breezy to end your work week tomorrow. And things finally subside a bit by tomorrow, say around 5:30. Winds dying back to around 5 to 10 miles per hour. As far as overnight tonight with the clouds and the wind, keeping it rather mild, lows anywhere from the lower to middle 50s, 54 here in the city, 52 for you in Rodman. During the day tomorrow, keeping it rather cloudy, some showers, but very mild as well. Highs in the mid to upper 60s. It looks like in Lewis County overnight, mainly cloudy, lows near 50 tomorrow, keeping it mostly cloudy, maybe a shower in the afternoon. It's going to be another warm day. Soak it in too, because big cool down heading this way for the upcoming weekend. Clouds in St. Lawrence County overnight, lows near 50 tomorrow. Bit of a breeze, some clouds, some showers in the afternoon, highs anywhere from 63 in Wanakina to near 70 for you in Messina. Big cool down for the weekend. Saturday, 56 showers are likely, and it looks like on Sunday, courtesy of a northerly wind flow as that low makes its way off to sea. It'll be even cooler still. Highs in the mid to upper 40s with showers likely. Monday drying up, and Tuesday mainly cloudy skies and temperatures around 58. So beautiful day outside right now, Jeff. Let's go ahead and send it over to you.
All right, John, thank you. And again, not in our usual local news format here as we wait for a press conference going to be starting up at Watertown City Hall. It's to update us on exactly what the situation is, where things stand as Watertown and areas outside, water customers that are outside of the city, deal with this water emergency after the water main break. I think most importantly right now, what is important is where can you get water, right? The water has arrived, and some information has just come out from the city of Watertown, and I will go over this as we await for that press conference to start up. We're not ready for that, right, Director? Okay, very good, thank you. And so let me just go through this, that if you need water, there are 3 locations in the city of Watertown where you're going to be able to go. One of them is the Watertown Fairgrounds Arena. Now for bottled water, it's a case per vehicle is what you can pick up. You can have bulk potable water, but you have to bring your own container to the Watertown Fairgrounds, and it's limited to containers that can be carried. And then if you need bulk non-potable water, you can also get that at the Fairgrounds Arena. And again, you're asked to bring your own containers that you can carry. So again, the non-potable is something for your bathrooms, right? So we need to be able to have that water and that access to it. So they have all of that at the Watertown Fairgrounds Arena. Another location where you can go is Watertown High School parking lot, and pretty much the same thing is there as well. Bulk potable water, bring your own containers, and it's limited to the containers that you can carry. And then bulk non-potable water, you can bring your own containers to the Watertown High School parking lot. And then Northland Plaza on the east side, the same thing. They'll have potable water, bring your own containers, non-potable as well, bring your own containers. So the big difference between these 3 locations is the only location handing out bottled water is, and it's 1 case per vehicle, that's going to be at the Watertown Fairgrounds Arena. A lot of that got started, I think, maybe 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock this afternoon when pallets of water started to arrive in the city of Watertown. So you have the opportunity to get your water if you are a Watertown resident, or if you live outside the city of Watertown and maybe the town of Watertown, town of Pamelia, town of Luray, anyone that is serviced through some what they're called DANC water lines, Development Authority of the North Country. Those water lines affected by this because those lines connect right to the city of Watertown. So those customers, not just a Watertown situation, this is for Watertown water users. And so you're dealing with probably 25,000 people that rely on that water. Probably a lot more than that, but at least 25,000 for sure inside and out of the city. So you have the Fairgrounds Arena, where you can get your bottled water, and then at the Fairgrounds Arena, Watertown High School parking lot, and Northland Plaza, you can get bulk potable water, bring in your own containers, and then non-potable as well. You have to bring in your own containers. That is the situation with water, and I think there are some hours to it. The distribution site's going to be open until 10 o'clock tonight. So 10 o'clock tonight, you can get that water at those locations. And they will reopen at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. So you have the ability to get your water tonight and tomorrow morning at those 3 locations. Let me just read one more thing that I have here and just see. And the question about what do you do if you don't have transportation? To be honest, John Moore addressed that with the mayor. And I think, and I didn't get to hear it all because I was talking with things back here at the studio. I think that for folks that cannot go and get water, it's the fire department that's going to be helping out in that situation. The fire department has its own concerns with what's going on. There's some things to report on that. But if we can, why don't we just take a minute to step away? We'll come back in and we'll reassess things with the news conference that's going to be happening here as we wait for the Lieutenant Governor to show up here in Watertown to address the media, along with other officials that are there, state, local people that are there. Department of Homeland Security is going to be there as well. We'll take a minute, we'll step away, we'll come back, and I'll give you more updates in terms of the information that we know. We'll be right back. We're going to begin your local news as we wait for that press conference. So tonight, no water for Watertown. A news conference about to start up. It's going to be one that brings Lieutenant Governor to City Hall. And here is the water being handed out. More than 25,000 people in the city of Watertown, outside the city of Watertown, need to drink, cook, flush toilets. Pallets of water arrive here in the city. We'll give you the details on that. And those affected, from the city school district to people shopping for water, even in person doing laundry. We have a lot to cover tonight. Let's begin your local news.
You're watching the North Country's news station. 7 News this evening starts now. Live from downtown Watertown, here's Jeff Cole.
And again, we are waiting for a news conference to begin. Lieutenant Governor expected to be there, but it is delayed. And so we're going to start with your local news. We have a lot of information to get through, but stay with us and we will bring you that news conference live here on the air. We're going to stay right with it. So let's begin tonight with telling you exactly what you need to know. Water main break in Watertown. Well, that means more than 25,000 people are without sufficient water tonight to drink, to cook with, shower, or even flush a toilet. The area of Huntington Street and Eastern Boulevard, that was flooded with water today. Crews were there all night, all day, and they had to begin making the fix. But as the water flowed here, it stopped flowing in many other parts of the city. In Watertown, a city without water. Customers outside the city who rely on Watertown's water, like the town of Watertown, Pamelia, Town of Luray, no water there either. More than 25,000 people affected. Fort Drum usually gets Watertown's water, but overnight, the military installation made a switch to use its backup supply. Fort Drum not on the city's water, and that water on post is okay to use. Very important to note. What you're looking at here, the problem pipes. Infrastructure built in the 50s and 60s. This was over there by the big hole over on Huntington Street, and those are the pipes that broke. Now, those were built in the 50s and 60s, from what we're told. By far, it's not the oldest infrastructure in the city, but the apparent culprits, what you're looking at there. This could be a sign that's a good sign of progress as crews start up to restore water to the thousands of people. Again, awaiting that news conference, but first let's go to the scene on Huntington Street. The water main break hit there. City crews there all night, all day. 7 News reporter Zach Grady is live. He's going to take us through the day today and the tedious task at hand for city crews. Zach.
Jeff, it was between midnight and 1 a.m. Thursday morning that here at the corner of Huntington Street and Eastern Boulevard, the road began to flood out. The cause? a water main break that eventually would lead to all of the pipes throughout the city drying up.
Probably started off with low pressure and then no water at all. The people at higher elevations were probably affected first, but by now I suspect that everybody is getting to the point where they don't have any water.
City crews spent Thursday digging in and digging out this hole on Huntington Street. By midday, crews could still not find the exact problem.
It may be a while. Once they find out where the break is, I don't expect it'll take long as we can get the parts.
What took so much time? Sorting through the other infrastructure that is underneath this city street.
And you couldn't go dig into the ground until you had National Grid come in and identify where gas line. There's major power lines underground here. So those had to be identified before you could even start digging or getting into the hole.
Even after the fix is made, Mayor Smith does not expect the water to come back on right away. This emergency has drained all of the city's pipes that will take hours to fill back up. The system also needs to be repressurized, which could cause additional problems.
Once you immediately pressurize that system, again, there are pipes that are 50, 60, 70 years old. We have to anticipate we're going to have more water breaks and main breaks.
So Jeff, as you has mentioned and as the mayor, Jeff Smith, has mentioned, even after crews do fix all the repairs here behind me, it will be a couple of days as the pipes refill and repressurize before people will be able to use that water for drinking and for cooking. One thing of note as we are here behind me, it does appear as if the cracked pipe, the problem that occurred this morning, has been recovered by crews and is now out of the hole. We head back to you in the studio. Thank you, Jeff.
Zach Grady live tonight, and that news conference with the Lieutenant Governor starting up. We're going to take it live right now. Here's the Lieutenant Governor.
Establish sites to make sure folks can access water. We are evaluating the different ways we can move forward in that regard. The Health Department is ensuring the continuation of healthcare services, and the State Education Department contacted local school districts to send students home early, as you know. School will also be canceled tomorrow. Governor Hochul has directed the Division of Homeland Security, Emergency Services, and Departments of Health and Environmental Conservation and New York State Police to work closely with local and federal officials. The State Emergency Operations Center has been activated, and staff from DHSES, DEC, and DOH are currently on the ground to ensure the safety of the Watertown community. Additionally, we are distributing 32,000 gallons of drinking water from 6 of the state's regional stockpiles. It's being deployed. This includes more than 256,000 cans of water. 256,000 cans of water, as well as 62,496 bottles of water and water distribution sites, as I said, are being set up. The residents and city workers here want to let you know that we're here with you, and we're going to do everything we can moving forward to ensure that we resolve this as fast as we can. And with that, I want to introduce, or bring the mayor, I should say, to provide an update on the repair. Thank you.
Lieutenant Governor, thank you, sir. So, thank you, Lieutenant Governor Delgado. Also want to recognize Deputy Commander of Fort Drum, Colonel Matt Brayman, who's here and has been able to help and facilitate. Thank the crews, Public Works, Department of Public Works, Pat Keenan. They're all on site right now. Water Treatment Superintendent Vicki Murphy. They've been up all night. This break occurred not because of a construction problem or anything like that, just old pipes sometime around midnight or just before. The city manager has been on site too all night, notified the council and myself around 2 a.m. and we had to call in National Grid crews. I mean, there was literally, they couldn't get into the ditch or hole because of the amount of water that was coming out. There is wires, there is gas lines and everything, so until that could be identified and the water basically drained from the system, they couldn't get into that. So this afternoon, late this afternoon, they were able to get in. Sometime around 4 or 5, they were able to identify about a 12-foot long piece of pipe that had split. They're currently working on that. Then they ran into some bedrock and issues there. They're hoping to have that repaired in the next 4 to 6 hours. Then after that, what they have to do is they have to pressurize the system. That's going to take 24 to 36 hours. Unfortunately, they're anticipating and expecting more water main breaks just because of the age of parts of the system. This pipe was probably 50 years old. There's other pipes in the city that are 50 to 60 plus years old. So once we repressurize that, they're going to probably anticipate some more breaks. So 24 to 36 hours to refill the system, and then after that it's going to be another 48 hours to 72 hours of boil water emergency. So timeline is we're hoping by Saturday, Sunday at the latest that the reservoirs and the system is filled, and then another 2 to 3 days after that where you'll have to boil water. I also want to thank not only our state partners and all that they've done, especially Jackie, the Homeland Security, has been tremendous. The governor's office, Governor Hochul, Lieutenant Governor, have been tremendous, but the guys at Fort Drum. First thing this morning, heard from the Garrison Command at Fort Drum, what do you need, what can we do? And they've been our partners through and through. Assemblyman Gray, Senator Walczyk, Congresswoman Tenney, Congresswoman Stefanik, and Senator Schumer's office routinely have been calling throughout the day of what we need. Not only that, I mean, this is what the North Country is about. The village of Potsdam, Scott Bertle from Carthage, West Carthage Mayor, Oswego, Billy Barrow, Mayor called. So local communities have been reaching out and saying, what do you need, whatever you need, we're here for you. But that's what we are. We're North Country strong, and they're doing a great job, and we appreciate everybody that's been involved in working the problem and the situation. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Leslie.
Thank you.
Yep.
So I'm Jackie Bray. I'm the that's okay, Mr. Mayor. You're fine. I'm the Commissioner of Homeland Security and Emergency Services for the state of New York. I'm going to go over some details about water distribution because we do expect, as the mayor said, the city and the town of Watertown to be without water running through their system at least throughout the day tomorrow and potentially into much of the day on Saturday. So we currently have 3 water distribution sites. The first site is at the county fairgrounds. That site will have has currently bottled water and canned water to distribute. It also will have bulk water, which means it's a bring your own jug situation, both potable drinking and non-potable non-drinking if you bring your own jugs to the county fairgrounds. That site is up and running now. At 7 p.m. tonight, so within the next 30 minutes, you will also be able to get water at the high school, at Watertown High School, and at Northlands Plaza. Both of those sites are bring your own jug. They will have both drinking water and non-drinking water. I know there's a lot of households out there worried about flushing the toilets. We are worried about you flushing your toilets too. So that site, those 2 sites are up and running. They'll have, will be up and running in half an hour. They'll have drinking water and non-drinking water. Those sites will be up and running tonight till 10 p.m. They'll close at 10 p.m. and then they will reopen at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. We will be limiting the amount of water you can get at those sites. So about a pallet per car, about a case per car, or a jug or 2 per vehicle is what we'll be limiting it to until we have additional supply. I want to thank the team at Fort Drum. We could not be doing this without you. They are providing a tremendous amount of this water. All of the drinking bulk water, all of the drinking water coming out of a jug currently is being provided by Fort Drum. Also want to thank the volunteer fire companies who are providing the non-potable water. In addition to the 3 bulk sites, State Fire, State Police, and the Watertown Fire Department are going door to door in a number of downtown Watertown apartment buildings, passing out water to our most vulnerable residents and checking on folks. We have that list of addresses. If folks are interested in those addresses, we can provide them in the Q&A. In addition to that, I want to let folks know, as the Lieutenant Governor said, my division, the Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Services, has been on the ground here all day, along with the Department of Health and the Division of Environmental Conservation. We will be here until this is fully resolved. We will certainly not leave people without water. And the residents of Watertown, the city and the town, and any surrounding communities that are experiencing a lack of water or a lack of water pressure, we want to reassure you that you will have ways to get water, both drinking water and non-drinking water, until your taps are turned back on and that there's pressure and you can boil it. I'm going to maybe I'll let our team from Fort Drum come first to talk through maybe both what's going on the base, make sure folks feel confident about that, and then all the support you've been able to give. Colonel Bremen.
Hey, good evening, everyone. And I'm Colonel Matt Bremen. I'm the acting senior commander at Fort Drum. And so first of all, Fort Drum and the 10th Mountain Division has had a very long relationship with the North Country, and our ability to provide mutual support throughout the community is nothing new. And so the good news is, as you know, the 10th Mountain Division remains the most deployed division in the Army. And so for us to deploy our forces around the world, we have to retain certain capabilities. One of those is we have to have water available for our troops. And so when we're home, the good news is that capacity and capability remains here at Fort Drum, and it's readily available. So the folks that are helping us out today train for this mission on a day-to-day basis, and we're happy to continue to provide that support to the local folks here, Mr. Mayor, and to the surrounding community. But this is not an anomaly. We do this on a routine basis through other things, whether it's mutual support through the fire departments, whether it's through medevac and other things. We've been great partners, and we're always here to support each other because we're all in the same community. In a minute, I'm going to have our garrison commander, Colonel Matt Meyer, come up, and he'll also talk about what we're doing on Fort Drum briefly. So for those families that wonder, does this affect me here as well, he'll be able to kind of lay that out for you. But we've got some tremendous capability, and look forward to getting out there to see our soldiers in action as they provide purified water, bulk distribution around local community over the coming days. And we're able to do that under our support, under our authorities, under the defense support to civil authorities. We've always had the ability to retain, to give out immediate action for the local community, and we'll continue to do so. So thanks for being here today. Thanks for letting us be part of this community and everything. And I'll turn it over to Matt Meyer to talk about Fort Drum a little bit and what we're doing.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Thank you for taking the time to let us just push out this information to our community. I think one thing that's really hard about when something happens like this is you're really thankful for all the relationships you have, and I think seeing everybody come together, is a really positive step for all of us. So we've been talking to each other all day, making sure that we're responding not only to the immediate problem, but expanding how much water capacity we can push out. So you'll see in Watertown there'll be military trucks that go out, and we're in those 3 sites. We have about 4,000 gallons of water, and we have a lot of more capacity than that. If the need does become greater, we do have the ability to go all the way up to about 28,000 more gallons. And where all this is coming from is from our water system on Fort Drum. So we do share water with Watertown. That has been shut off, and we're on a well system that continues to pull water that can basically pull that water and then redistribute it into Watertown for really the foreseeable future. So we have about 16 million gallons, and that just sits in our system. We're able to pull much more than that. So just as everyone said up here, nobody should be without water. We'll be able to provide that for you, just like we said, until the taps get turned back on. We also have a water purification system that we're going to bring out here into Watertown. We're still working on the exact location that'll be put, but that's able to do about 16,000 gallons a day. So like I said before, there should be nobody without water. We are here to support on Fort Drum. We have our emergency operations cell stood up. We have a support operation that's going on through our support brigade that is controlling where the trucks are. That's who the soldiers belong to. And then we're also going to set up one distribution site at the PX on Fort Drum, and that's for, since half of our military community lives off base, that's just an additional site that they can pull water from, before they go home. And that'll relieve some of the pressure, I think, on the other 3 sites, but I think we have plenty out there. And just once again, thank you for all the understanding and allowing this team to come together and be able to push out all the assets that we have. And to be honest, the soldiers do get excited about being able to do their job and support people. And so it's great to see them coming out here tonight. We'll get them all sorted. And if you go get water, you should see them out there running those big tanks for the city. So thank you.
Thank you. Go for it, Leslie. So from the first minute, we've been focused on the hospital as well, and Leslie can give an update there.
So very fortunately, with all the great partners in this room and across the state, we've been able to really remain stable. Our pressure is stable. Caring for patients has been stable. At this time, we're really being preemptive. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. So we have closed many of the locations in the city that had scheduled appointments. So that is all surgical patients, outpatient procedures, all specialty clinics, and anywhere where there was an appointment. Maybe it's radiology, MRI, CT, all of that has been canceled for tomorrow, hoping that we can be back online by Monday. That does include the Walker Center for Cancer Care. Most patients have been contacted and made aware of this situation, but at this point, at the inpatient side and the nursing homes or the long-term care facilities, we have enough water, our pressure is stable, and we're really confident that we can continue to care for patients. At this time, we've only transferred out one patient to Upstate Medical Center, and that is it. We've been able to maintain.
Chief Timmerman is going to brief on the plan to make sure that any fires can be managed.
Evening. Obviously, the current situation has left fire hydrants in the city of Watertown and the town of Watertown unreliable. So to address that situation, City of Watertown, the town of Watertown, Jefferson County Emergency Management, and New York State Office of Fire Prevention and Control have been working together all day today to put together a three-pronged approach to how we are going to address water supply for structural firefighting. First thing is we are providing a water tanker task force. So that's composed of one fire engine and 4 water tankers staged in the immediate area for immediate response to a report of a structure fire in the city of Watertown, the town of Watertown, or any of the surrounding affected areas. We also have access to a heavy tanker strike team. This is these heavy tankers are tractor-trailer based tankers, carry upwards of 6,000 to 7,000 gallons of water. Those are also staged and available to us. They're in the area. If need be, we can call on those to scenes. The final option available to us is the Office of Fire Prevention and Control's ultra-large diameter supply line task force. That composes of nearly a mile of 8-inch supply line and supporting equipment that we can set from a draft site along the river and run that to areas that we need large volumes of water. Specifically, what we have in mind for that is our critical downtown area. That if there's a fire there, we need high flows. Also, hospitals, nursing homes, and other large commercial areas. So, with these things in mind, residents in the town of Watertown and the city of Watertown and surrounding areas shouldn't lose any sleep over fire protection in their area. Obviously, this isn't the way we prefer to fight fire, but the amount of resources that have been provided is well in excess of twice what we normally provide. So there's a lot of manpower, there's a lot of equipment that are available to respond to these fires now. And the town of Watertown Fire Department, City of Watertown Fire Department definitely appreciate all the assistance from neighboring communities who have provided tankers and firefighting engines, neighboring counties, and obviously the state of New York, their Office of Fire Prevention and Control. So, thanks.
Thank you, Chief. I do want to introduce Assemblymember Gray. He's been here in the EOC all day. He's got a couple things to say, and I also want to thank Joe Plummer, the County Emergency Manager, and Matt Franklin, the state's Director of the Office of Emergency Management, have also been on the ground for most of the day coordinating water distribution. Assemblymember?
And if I could, just before you go real quick, I just want to also recognize members of City Council that have been updated and involved through the day that are here. Councilwoman Ruggiero, Councilman Hickey, and Councilwoman Pierce. They have been thoroughly involved and connected throughout this, and I apologize earlier, but I want to make sure I recognize you.
Sure.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Commissioner. So I just want to point out the city staff, they've done a tremendous job under the leadership of the mayor and the city manager, Ken Mix. They have done yeoman's work to try to locate the leak and fix it as quickly as possible, and they've been working diligently. They're the people you don't see here tonight. They're out on the site. So with that said, early this morning I was in a meeting, I got a text and a phone call right away on the situation. I immediately elevated it to the governor's office, and we had a very rapid response. So I talked to the mayor shortly after that. I talked to the emergency management, Joe Plummer, and the governor responded with everybody that you see here, all the state agencies that are around the room. We had state fire, state police. There's a number of different agencies. The Department of Health, Department of DEC has been here. So we've had a number of state agencies. This is government coming together to work to solve problems. It's county, it's city, it's state, and it's federal level as well. So it's been amazing. So I want to thank the governor. She has been, we both have spoke with the governor today from Israel. And and Lieutenant Governor, thank you very much for coming. And let me just say, Jackie Bray, the Commissioner of the Department of Homeland Security, has done outstanding work. She has, we were moving forward and things were going, the mayor had things going, Ken had things going, and when the commissioner got here, it elevated and amped up to a different level. So she has done fantastic work organizing people, categorizing of the response, and that's why things are going so smoothly. So in the face of adversity like this. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great job.
All right, well, we're not through this yet, so let's do questions.
So what about the elderly or infirm, maybe who can't get out to get the water? You do have people going door to door, but what if they fall through the cracks? Is there a number they can call? What do they do? Are you prepared for maybe a large volume of calls like that?
Well, I think that we're relying on emergency management. We're being proactive of already going out and addressing the people in the high rises, the most vulnerable people. We've identified those. If they do need services, they can always call 911 and get a hold of us here at City Hall. But we've taken a proactive approach to go out before any requests come in to see if they need anything. So we have a great knowledge base, and Joe Plummer and the county have really worked with us of identifying where the high rises are, Midtown Towers, we know them in the city, and proactively getting out there and making sure they get water.
Yeah, I would say, so certainly if there's an emergency, call 911, right? We also are working with the county to access lists of folks that sort of, get Meals on Wheels, folks that the Department of the Aging or the Department of Social Services know are vulnerable and need support, and we'll be proactively reaching out to all of them tonight. Next question.
You mentioned flushing of toilets. How does this affect the sewage treatment plant?
So it really has, other than they're not getting much sewage right now. So it's not going to have any negative effect on the sewer treatment plant. I guess if people have non-drinking, non-potable water that they pick up, they can use that to flush a toilet or use in that system. But no negative effects on the sewer treatment plant. So we're still taking in sewage from Fort Drum, and anybody that is able to flush or needs that non-potable water, they can use to flush a toilet.
You mentioned that there might be more water main breaks in the coming days. What does that mean, and how much more would that set back this progress that we're seeing?
So unfortunately, that's something we're anticipating and planning. So you plan for the worst and you hope for the best. The city has seen other water main breaks throughout its history, and we deal with it. Nothing to this degree. So we will deal with those as they come up if there is an issue. And there'll be inconveniences in more of a local neighborhood versus the entire system. So as the system is recharged, all of that pressure will be in there. Part of that recharging over the next 24 to 36 hours once it's fixed is they'll have to bleed off air from the system, especially at high points in the city. So that's going to take some time and a process, and it's going to strain the system. Where it will happen, we don't know, but we're anticipating that it probably will.
What do we know about businesses? I don't know how well you can answer this, but
how many businesses will be open tomorrow, especially probably restaurants that probably may not be able to wash dishes?
So I think more on the state, that the State Department of Health has its rules and regulations that they probably won't be able to open. That's more of a state issue that they have to follow. I think that it won't affect grocery stores and things like that where people need to get bulk items or services such as that. So probably your smaller restaurants will be closed.
I would imagine that the restaurants will be closed tomorrow, but we've seen your major grocery stores, your major big box stores, your pharmacies have remained open today. We expect them to remain open tomorrow.
Because this pipe provides water to all three of the reservoirs, was it just like the worst pipe possible that could have broke in this situation?
Well, it was. I mean, you couldn't ask for a worse section of pipe. It's literally right off the water treatment plant where it forks into a 16-inch pipe and I think 24, 26-inch pipe and has a cross section. And just because of the pressure, it seems that once it burst and the pressure coming back, the valves to shut off because of the backflow failed to prevent that. So they're actually putting in new T's to prevent that from happening as part of this fix. So what will probably be up sooner is the larger pipe of a 24, 26-inch pipe before they complete the other, but they've got to put the safety T's in and that. So worst probably place you could have a break because it affected the entire system.
The city's water treatment plant, I assume, is sitting idle currently?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it affected negatively in any way? Can you idle that plant without any harm?
So the updates that I've gotten is that they maintain pressure and shut off and allowed pressure to stay in the water treatment plant, so it's not completely empty. They'll need probably, I think, 30 to 60 minutes to be able to start the system back up once they're ready to treat water and have it flow back into the system. So they're not anticipating any negative effects there. They were able to isolate the plant itself and maintain pressure in the plant.
But we should say the reason why there will be several days of a boil water advisory is because they have to reactivate all of the treatment, and that has to go all the way through the system before anyone could drink that water without boiling it.
So people will need to put water in their toilets in order to use them, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is there a danger of toilets running dry and a gas problem that could ensue from that?
I don't know of one unless there's maybe a combined sewer system and gas backing up, but most homes have gas that have ventilated their system as part of ventilating their plumbing, but I don't anticipate that being a problem at all.
Our fire chief is indicating that it's unlikely.
You're watching a press conference at City Hall, and we're going to wrap that up as the information is pretty much given to us. We know what it is, and we appreciate the ability to go to that and the answers from the questions that our John Moore was asking there. There's a couple of big developments that I want to give to you as we were listening to that news conference regarding the water emergency in the city of Watertown. The biggest one is that Vicki Murphy. She is the superintendent of water for the city of Watertown. She tells us that the fix is complete. That's good news. So the fix is complete according to the water superintendent. So down on Huntington Street, apparently that is set to go, that the fix has been made. They're ready to fill in the hole and all that stuff. We still have a lot more to go, but that's a pretty big development in terms of getting that taken care of. You're talking about maybe 15, 16 hours of that fix. It took that much time to get that done. But with the superintendent of water telling us that the fix has been made and that the plant should get back going. You just heard in that press conference that it might take a half hour, 60 minutes for the plant to get back up and going, and then there's so much more that has to happen after that. The officials there in the news conference saying that we expect to be without water in the city of Watertown and other users throughout the day tomorrow, maybe into Saturday. They need to repressurize the system, all of the stuff that we've covered. But with the fix, that is a very good thing. So in fact, we can probably show a live picture of what's happening there. We're down on the ground there on Huntington Street, and hopefully things in that hole are a lot better, and we can get that filled in. And again, the fix apparently complete. The other thing I want to mention is we talked about outside of Watertown users. So I talked about the towns of Luray, Pamelia, and Champion. They're on the DANC lines, the Development Authority of the North Country lines. Now, while they were initially affected by this, changes were made throughout the day, and those areas are back and okay in terms of their water. So towns of Champion, Luray, and Pamelia are back with their Development Authority of the North Country lines. They were able to change some valves, maybe shut off a valve, open it up, but with help from the village of Black River, those communities are okay in terms of the water that they have through their faucets. So again, what we thought was affected early on, changes have been made and things are better for the towns of Champion, Luray, and Pamelia. Your systems appear to be okay, and again, that is with help from the village of Black River as the Development Authority of the North Country changed out a few valves to make the fix. So good news for those folks, better news in the city of Watertown where the fix is made down on Huntington Street. And so the biggest thing is we're still without water, right? But one of the biggest things to talk about, there is water that has arrived in Watertown. There are 3 different areas that you can go if you're looking for water. If it's bottled water, you have to head to the Fairgrounds Arena, and that's what you're looking at right here. This was earlier today. That municipal arena turned into the staging point to hand out water, and just cars were lining up as soon as they could, waiting to get a case. Each car is able to get a case of water. You can go to Watertown High School, and you can also go to Northland Plaza if you want bulk water for drinking, or if you want bulk water that you can then put into your toilet to flush it. You can get bulk water at Northland Plaza here at the Municipal Arena, but also at Watertown High School. You can get that until 10 o'clock tonight. That will go until 10 o'clock tonight and then start back up by 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. We talked to one resident down at this pickup site who says today was unprecedented.
I got our daughter and our 4 grandboys living with us, and of course the complications of showering and laundry and flushing and washing and all that is still ahead. So that's the practical stuff of this.
And it will be ahead for the next day or so. Water being handed out at Watertown Fairgrounds Arena, and you can also get it at Northland Plaza and the Watertown High School parking lot. If you want bottled water, you have to go to the Municipal Arena. Okay, just make sure you know that bottled water is down there. Well, the water main break had its mark on people today, right? It hurt businesses. We saw some people make a mad dash to the supermarket to try to find water. Shelves were empty for some. It clearly had its effects, even caused school to let out early in the city of Watertown. And 7 News reporter Chad Charette pulling some extra hours here tonight to stay with us. And Chad, talk to us about what you saw and heard here today.
So Jeff, I started my day out at Watertown High School, where a mass exodus made for a hectic scene thanks to a very early dismissal. Administration says it was a decision that wasn't made lightly.
It caught me off guard this morning. I did not expect this.
Letting students out at 10:30 Thursday morning wasn't a decision that the district made lightly, but Superintendent Dr. Larry Schmiegel says it was done in the interest of student safety. The district has also decided to close on Friday.
We have student safety and staff safety at the utmost level of care in our district, and so making an informed decision was critically important.
One student was keeping a fun attitude about the emergency.
You know, it's definitely on my mind, but I could probably live with, bottles of water and, hopefully it rains, for a nice shower, but beside that, I'm sure it'll be all right.
But what about businesses? At Balanced Nutrition, the staff had to supplement tap water with jugs, and supplies are running out. That puts a dent in their profits.
Thursday and Friday seem to be our busiest days, so if this kills our water, we're not good for the next 2 days.
Rising demand for water drove folks to grocery stores like Piggly Wiggly, a mad dash to load up on fluids before they lost their chance.
It's kind of scary because you see people in there and the worry on their face.
These shelves normally hold cases of water, but as you can see, people are taking the situation pretty seriously since they've snagged nearly every bottle.
Well, I didn't come yet right away, but I should have because it's empty. There's only like this kind of 1 liter and smaller bottles.
Our last stop took us to Colonial Laundromat, where folks worked to get one last load in as water dwindled. One man says his situation made him think of the bigger picture.
It's going to be an inconvenience, and hopefully it'll be a reminder to people to save some bottled water. It could be a lot worse. A lot of people in the world have it worse than this.
Along with the school district, a number of businesses have also made the decision to close tomorrow. A list of closings can be found on our website, WWNYTV.com. Jeff?
All right, Chad, thank you. And WWNYTV.com is where you can go for a lot of the updates that we have here today. And we're almost done with our broadcast, but I'll let you know one of Watertown's largest water users started to conserve water early today, and they shut down their plant, in fact, Knowlton Technologies, right there on Factory Street. It uses between 500,000 and 800,000 gallons of water a day to make the products there. After that water emergency was realized this morning, the plant was in touch with city officials, and they did decide to stop production, and they helped the city conserve water. Now the plant will stay offline until the situation does improve. That is our broadcast here for the night tonight. We had a lot to cover, and we will continue to give you updates on our website at WWNYTV.com. We will have more information from that news conference earlier today and the fix that has happened, apparently. We'll learn more about that as we cover more of your local news with Garrett Domblewski here on the anchor desk coming up at 11 o'clock tonight. I'm Jeff Cole here in downtown Watertown. Thanks for tuning in. Glad to be here. Enjoy your night. Jeopardy up next.